It is the night of April 14th, 1912, and I am standing on the deck of the most famous ship in history, the RMS Titanic, 882 feet long, the largest moving object ever built by human hands. And tonight, Tess, everyone on board believes they are completely safe. They called it unsinkable. The newspapers said so. The builders said so. Even the passengers believed it. And in just a few hours to say it, every single one of them will be proven catastrophically wrong. This ship left Southampton, England on April 10th, 1912, carrying 240 passengers and crew, heading to New York City on its very first voyage. On board were some of the most well-known people of that era. Prominent business figures, socialites, and hundreds of families in the lower decks prolix, all making their way across the Atlantic toward new opportunities. In first-class tunda, there were 5 grand dining rooms, a swimming pool, a Turkish bath, a squash court. This was not a ship. This was a floating palace. But here is what most people do not know. Before Titanic even left Port Shornings, 7 separate iceberg warnings were received on April 14th alone. 7 warnings. And the ship kept moving at nearly full speed. Because the owners wanted to arrive in New York early, to make headlines, to impress the world. At 11:40 p.m. on April 14th, lookout Frederick Fleet spotted something in the darkness ahead. He picked up the telephone to the bridge and said 3 words. Iceberg kind, right ahead. The crew tried to turn the ship. They tried to reverse the engines. They had 37 seconds to react. It was not enough. The iceberg struck the starboard side below the waterline. It did not punch a massive hole, as most people imagine. It buckled the steel plates, created a series of small openings. But those small openings were enough. 5 sections of the hull began taking in water. The vessel was built to handle 4. At 12:05 a.m., the order was given to uncover the lifeboats. And this is where one of the most devastating failures of that night becomes clear. The Titanic carried 20 lifeboats, enough space for 1,178 people. But there were 2,240 people on board. More than half the people on this ship had no seat waiting for them, no matter what happened. And it gets worse. Many of those lifeboats were launched less than half full. Lifeboat number 1, designed to hold 40 people, left the Titanic carrying only 12.
Excuse me, Miffelbert. I can see you are watching the lifeboats. Are you getting on one? My husband says there is nothing to worry about.
But I do not feel right about it. That feeling was right. By 1 a.m., the bow was visibly lower in the water. The tilt of the ship was becoming impossible to ignore. And the band, famously, kept playing. Down in 3rd class, the situation was far worse. Many passengers were locked below deck by gates separating them from the upper decks. Some of those gates were not opened until it was too late. By 2 a.m. push, the bow was completely underwater. The stern was lifting out of the ocean. The angle was becoming extreme. And then hurrant, at 2:17 a.m. Coilen, the lights went out. At 2:20 a.m. on April 15th, 1912 solves, the Titanic broke in 2 between the 3rd and 4th funnel, and both pieces sank to the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, 12,500 feet below the surface. 1,500 people went into the water that night. The temperature of the ocean was 28 degrees Fahrenheit, below freezing. Most died within minutes, not from drowning, from the cold. 1 hour and 20 minutes after the Titanic went down Goshen, the Carpathia arrived. It rescued 706 survivors from the lifeboats. For the 1,500 in the water at voyage, it was too late. The Californians saw the Titanic's distress flares, 8 of them, fired into the night sky. Their crew watched and did nothing, because their radio operator had gone to sleep for the night.
20 miles. That is all the distance that separated 1,500 people from rescue.
If the Californian had responded west, the story of the Titanic might have been completely different. The Titanic was found in 1985, or trace, 73 years after it sank. Robert Ballard led the expedition, and what they found 12,500 feet below the surface changed everything we thought we knew. The ship had not sunk in one piece as everyone believed. It had broken in two, the bow and the stern lying 2 miles apart on the ocean floor. And across the debris field trayed thousands of personal belongings, shoes, suitcases, dishes, glasses, all perfectly preserved in the freezing darkness